Has my mic been muted the whole time? That's fine. All right. Well, we have a little gap fill right here. It's 804 area on NQ. I'm shorting against this area, trying to get that gap fill. It's a high probability gap fill. If it pushes up, I'll try it again. I went ahead and took a starter. 844 is where I'm in at. Took a small starter here, just see if we get a little winning trade to start the day. What's up, everyone? Serenity. Good morning. Good morning. Vladimir in here this morning. What's up? What's up, KB? Izzy, what's up? All right. Let's see what's going on here. This is the trade setup. We'll see if we get 40 points to start the day. What's up, Cliff? Sliding in here this morning. Good morning, everyone. Just getting started here a little bit. A little light short here for the gap fill. So we opened up where? Right here. Small gap, 0.13%. 85% chance to fill this. So we do have that big data. Is he dropping it in here? The BLS revisions, they're saying they could revise up to like 800,000 to 1 million jobs over the last year. So that'll be interesting. I'm hoping this gap fill plays out. 85% opportunity here, probability. There you can see it on QQQ right down here. Let me get my little highlighter thing turned on over here. Yeah, about 40 points lower. Yeah, KB, I want this to play out, and then I want to be doing nothing probably until that data comes out. It's going to be very spicy to see what that data looks like. How's everyone doing, though? Let's see if anything else is moving. IWM's moving down. Oil moving up a little bit. There was a Hamas headline. Israeli officials say that they attacked Hamas leadership in Doha, in Qatar, or Qatar, as some people pronounce it. AMD strong out of the gate. Apple, a little interesting. Let's see. Broadcom pulling down a little bit. NVIDIA doing nothing. Apple has the event at 1 p.m. today. Robinhood has an event tonight. So put that on your radars if you're trading any of those names or owning any of those names. I don't know how much it'll move the market intraday with the Apple event, but a lot of times we do sell the news, see a run up into it. So Apple, one of the heavier weighted companies, obviously keep that on watch. Wow, 6,500 is 3 points lower than where we are. About right there, 6,500 SPX. Tempted to add here. Come on, drop it down to 805. Could be nothing, could be something, right? That's going to be the interesting thing with that data. Get zoomed in here a little bit. Let's just go ahead and fill the gap now, and then get out of the trade before a lot of selling going on here on the tape. Yeah, sorry about that. I had the wrong microphone turned on there. I apologize for that. My son's about to head to school, so that morning restful time is going on. You need the ES to get below this, but high probability 85% on the gap fill. Let's check QQQ. 84% on QQQ, 85% on NASDAQ either way. For a 40-point trade here. Very wicky here at the open. Very, very wicky. IWM has been dumping all morning. That's interesting. Oil's pushing up. Meta strong, new high on Meta just there. Google's making a little push here. I'm looking for 805. I think the gap fills right in that 803, 804 area, somewhere in there. Thing right here on this SPX 6500. That could be a little bit of an issue. But the data doesn't care about what level's sitting there. It tells you what is most probable.
if we come back down. I'm tempted along the 800, honestly, but we'll see what happens. Welcome in, everyone. I know some of you are tracking in here. Not a whole lot going on. I'm just taking a little shot at the gap fill play here on NQ. Yes, already filled it. What's up, Rob? Welcome in. Welcome in. See what happens here. I need to get back under this area. That's all right. I'll just sit here, see what happens. If it goes a little bit higher, I'll may add a little bit. We'll see what happens. Let me go around, trade around that core a little bit, but we'll see. Directional trade I want is to the downside. Look at NDX. There's your gap fill NDX. SPX technically still has a gap fill down there. ES shows it filled it. Let's check SPY. SPY did fill it right at the open. UQQ has not filled it. You can see down here. This is where we closed yesterday. So right here. Last close of the day, right here. Boom. Need to come down and fill that. Let's get this to pull down a little bit here. Are we 15 minutes in yet? Yeah, we are. We can get that 15-minute candle on here. There we go. At 8:04, that's our target. I have an order sitting at 8:05. Right there. Come on down. Come on down. "15-minute view of it here. Trying to get down here. Yeah, NVIDIA needs to come down. Let's see. NVIDIA have a gap fill? NVIDIA just... NVIDIA filled the gap on this opening push down. Tesla leaving a gap below. Look at Meta strong. Google pretty strong. Those have already filled gaps. Broadcom weak. Apple weak. Here we go. Come on. $85% odds on this, guys. That's why I'm just so comfortable taking the risk here. If you just join, That's QQQ 84% and NQ 85%. So take your pick. Come on down. Oh, so close. Come on, fill the gap. Fill the gap. Almost there. We're almost there. Almost. I just want to see this candle just light up orange. There we go, NVIDIA. Pull us down. If they leave it right there, that's going to drive me crazy. 4 points away from target. QQQ still got 20 cents or so. One time for the one time. One time for the one time. What was the yeses like yesterday? Oh, yeah. Took all day. Yes, did fill that one yesterday, Willie. Good call out on that. I remember watching that. I tried to trade it in the morning here, pushed up, and I had to get back in. I ended up trading NQ from up here, but similar thing. I actually got out of NQ whenever ES filled this, because NQ obviously never filled the gap. Like, I got out right in here on a short yesterday. Come on, light this candle up orange for me. Please and thank you. If you're sized in, you could de-risk here, but I'm looking for full target. I don't really have enough size that's going to make that big of a difference to not wait for full target. Full target's 84%, 85% opportunity. Boom. Come on. Hurry up before this data gets here. I just want to see this whole candle turn orange, which is the indicator that oh. All right, 40-point gain. My gap fill trade played out perfectly. 85% odds. Thank you. Come again. Boom. Thank you. Come again. Be the easiest $600 I've ever made in my life. There it is. Boom. Uh, I mean, all right. Now what? All right, let me get this tweeted out. It's crazy. QQQ didn't fill it. It's actually still in play. There it is on NQ. Go to a 5-minute, just make this look even easier. Boom. Boy, how about that exit, guys? How about this exit? Goodness gracious, it's still there, but plan the trade, exit the trade, move along. How about that exit? And like I said, I wanted to be flat into the data. I don't mind this at all, actually, KB. Yeah, IndieX actually did have a little bit more. Oh, well, it's some random level I have up here. Let me get IndieX. Yeah, IndieX has what, 3 more points? We went to 66 and 6. Yeah. See if IndieX and QQQ fills it here, and then we'll see what the data does. All right, let's see what they say. $911,000 jobs revised. Holy cow. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Oh my gosh. There you go, KB. There's your gap fill. There's your gap fill. Look at all the candles lighting up orange. It's so beautiful, guys. So beautiful. Woo. All right. KB, did you hold that? Because you got paid if you did. To be fair, the revisions number was 800,000 to million, so we're kind of in the middle of that. 9/11 is weird and an inside job. What? I'm just kidding, guys. Little fun. Little fun. All right. All right. Now what do we do? Why are yields screaming right now? What are we doing? We're really not doing anything. All right. Cool. KB's long. Be surprised if we don't come to. I wanted to touch 781. We did. All right, guys. Well, I don't know what to do here. My trade played out. I wasn't even going to leave runners on a trade like that. I don't hate the long down here. If I had a long zone, it was this. Uh, IWM new low. SPX stuck right at just under 6,500. This looks like a long. I do believe the original number was 600,000, so it's not like a it's not like 900,000 is the full number. It's really a 300,000 difference. Yeah, the numbers have always been questionable, but part of me wants to get long right here. What's up, Eva? Good afternoon. Um, Boy, I'm glad I got that one nice gap fill trade in before the data here. It's probably along as much as I don't want to be. I'm not gonna ignore that fact. We are SPX is about right there. SPX 6500. Hey, Serenity. So, great question. There is a video on every single Edgeful report. So right here, you can go find this as well. But there's a full video on every single report. If I hit play, you can actually see Andre right there. Um, every single report has a video. I'm trying to remember. I think I've done a video at some point on my YouTube. I can't remember. If I haven't, maybe I need to do one. Um, but it's pretty simple overall, and you see where did we close yesterday? The exact close is this candle right here. Right here is where we close. I tried to draw a line, but my hand moved. Right here is where we closed yesterday. And so what you're looking at is, okay, we don't really care about any of this action pre-market or after hours. What we care about is where did yesterday's candle close? Where does that open today? And if you look at on a daily chart, right here, daily chart. Uh-oh. Let me do this a little bit. All right. This is where that daily candle closed yesterday. So what the report's telling you is that if you open up here, you're going to come back to right here. And based on the size of it, so like, look, you can see on Friday, we had the same thing on Friday. We opened up way up here, and we ended up coming down and filling that gap. Now, that's not common when you have this big of a gap. So you can actually look at it by size. You can look at it in general. So like this one right here, this is where we closed last Tuesday. This is where we opened Wednesday. We never filled that gap. Yesterday, we opened up here. The gap fill was actually down here. We never filled that gap. So we still have an unfilled gap down to here. Well, KB's over here just getting... Cliff, you thought I was frisky. This KB's over here just crushing it, getting really frisky. Here is the unfilled gap right here. And obviously, if you have Edgeful, you get you get all these indicators. If you ever go to the indicators, invite only, you can see, look at all these edgeful ones that are included. So many of them. But this gap yesterday never filled. You can see, so this is how it works. When you open up in the morning, it marks down here. And then like as you're coming in, it's marking like, okay, the gap's trying to close, but there was a low probability to fill this gap yesterday. We didn't. Now on the S&P yesterday, we did. We had a little bit smaller gap and we did fill it. So if you look, we opened up here, the gap's down here, and you can see, oh, SPY never even filled it. Let's go to SPX because I know. Did SPX not fill it yesterday either? Oh, we never filled it yesterday at all. ES filled it, but we never filled it yesterday. But look how close we got. Interesting. But here's an example of the gap actually filling. So you see the indicator just walking its way down, and then when that line turns yellow, the candle highlights orange for you, let you know, hey, that gap filled right there. Boom. Just like today. I'm about to go back to a 15-minute chart, but this is where we needed to get to. Boom, we got there. Candle highlighted. I took profit at that level. And look, we flew right back up after. KB is an animal. Absolute animal. What's up, Jared? Great to have you stopping by the stream. If you guys are trading something, let me know if I'm missing something. I've got a lot of eyes, but not 97 of them. Not really doing anything. Shopping. Right there. SPX 6500. Just chopping, chop, chop. IWM's getting wrecked though. Bye bye. Yes. So, all right. First, happy to answer all of you guys' questions here. Let me get that up on the screen. All right. So, if I want to look at the gap fill, let me. I can go to InQ or QQQ or SPY or whatever I want. So, like QQQ, use the example here. If I'm just on the normal, so when you first go to gap fill, it's just going to tell you standard. How often does it happen on just a overall basis? But what I'm looking at is I'm going to go here to by size. You can go to by weekday. You can go by clove, all this different stuff down here. I use this one by size, and it actually tells me right here what the gap size is. It was 0.15 today. So from 0 to 0.19, this first category, 84% gap up, 84% of the time you're filling that. And look, obviously, the bigger the gap, the lower those odds are starting to get. And I'm using 6 months worth of data. You can go back further if you want. You can go shorter if you want, but that's just my sweet spot that I use. 6 months of data, and I use by size. And I just look at what's the size. Yesterday, I think the size was like right here, and it was a little bit less than a 50% less than a coin flip that it was going to fill. So we gapped up, and you see 42% of the time it fills, 58% of the time it doesn't. So yesterday I was like, okay, I don't want to play for a full gap fill if I take a short. So that's kind of the settings I use right there. Now I saw this other question. Where do we get access to the Edgeful gap filling indicator? If you have Edgeful, you get all of these reports. So if you look over here, there's all different report. These are the like categories. These are the actual reports. So you find your favorite ones. All these are, sorry, I scrolled. All these different reports right here. You also get this what's in play, which I have all my favorite ones on here. So like, look, for example, our bias coming out of the open was bearish because we had a gap to fill. Now look, right here, it says gap filled right at 10 o'clock, gap filled, boom. Right now, the only other things I really have, and this is on QQQ, I can go to NQ, ES, SPY. You can put anything that you want here. I like to look at QQQ and SPY as much as anything, but I also look at NQ and ES. But on QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, right now I have a bearish bias on the IB, which I'll go over here in a few minutes. We're 6 minutes away from that first hour. Still waiting on this, which goes with it, that initial balance first hour of the market. One more candle. And then this right here, opening candle continuation, that first hour of the market. There's some strong data with this. We'll take a look at all of that here when we get our first hour, which is just under 5 minutes now. We'll take a look at all of that, and I can kind of get an idea there. I also have this screener, and I'm going to answer the question that's on the screen here, but I also have this screener. So far, we don't have much data, still a bunch of neutral stuff because obviously opening candle hadn't formed. I use a lot of the first hour stuff. Right now, we have pretty mixed right here on the IB by rejection, which is the high or low formed first. Previous day's range should be right in the middle of most things. Yep. And then IB, and then it'll actually give us a score. And of course, you can trade all this is included for the one same thing. Right here on the right side of the screen, it says Trading View Indicator Access. You get all those Trading View. You get all those Trading View indicators with the with your Edgeful. So you get all the Trading View indicators. It's all included. One price, one subscription level. That's it, right? So you just click over here, Trading View Indicator Access, and you go put in your username, and it connects them, and they'll all show up in the invite only section. You can see all of these, and almost all of these are tied to some report. So if there's a report that you like, maybe I don't use it, but you really like it, you can put it on there. So like some of my favorite ones, obviously I have gap fill turned on. There's a Fibonacci by session that you can look at. Boy, IWM's getting smoked. There's Fibonacci that automatically just draw Fibonacci based on yesterday's session. IB is this one right here. Previous day's range, you see a previous day high and low just right there on my chart for me. A lot of very helpful tools. Boy, the Rusty is getting smoked. All right, think I got those. PPI and then CPI KB, right? So tomorrow we have PPI and then we have CPI on Thursday. So fun times, right? And while we're chopping right here, we're above the pivot points. We're under 65. I mean, kind of in a really big trap zone here. SPX is losing that 6,500. I always try to mark that on my chart. We're right at break even on the day on QQQ. We're slightly red on the day on SPY. A couple of minutes, we'll have that first hour. I'll just say this, when one of my favorite reports, IB high formed first, the low is formed second. You have a high probability of breaking this low. If that's the case, we can short against like 820 right here and try to get down to 780. See what happens in 1 minute. Sometimes I will go ahead and take a trade ahead of time, predicting that. This one, wow, I gotta go to a 5-minute chart to see it. So this one's interesting. ES, the low form first, the high form second. So we have conflicting data, but price action is towards the low. Probably gonna break the low first. If ES breaks this low, over here on NQ, highs here, lows here, I'm gonna play for this. All right, so there is that first hour of data. So pretty quickly here, first hour's IB's red. I want to get in a short. I want to get in a short up here and look for this. KB is already in it. If you have a high probability, let me just go back to the 15-minute chart. You have a high probability of coming down here. This right here, statistic I'll show you, IB by rejection. This right here, the statistic's going to be a strong statistic that you're going to break this. Also, the first hour, we open the first hour of the day right here at 8:35. We close the first hour at 8:10. So we have a red first hour. What does that data mean? Well, it means a couple things. That short, I love that short KB. Like, you pulled the trigger faster than I could. Sorry, I'm watching this play out. This broke already. You should get this right here. KB is an absolute savage. Boom, there it is, played out. Boom. There you go. Guys, what do I need to do here? This stuff is just so I didn't have time to like alert it on the chart. I scalped it real fast over here on the side, but I'm not gonna call out or take credit for the trade because I didn't put it on the screen for you guys. But KB was in it. KB nailed it. KB followed along. He knows what I was looking at. KB's in the streams every week, absolutely crushing it. And here we go. So what that was right there. All right. So as soon as I see, let me go to let me just go to Q, or I'll go to NQ for you guys. You want to see NQ? Boom! Look at KB just crushing it. So let's look at how this just laid out. And I just scalped an extra like couple $100 there on top. So it's gonna be a good day either way. So this already played out. Now let's look at some stuff here. So IB by rejection. Let me show you guys this report. IB is the initial balance first hour of the market. When the high forms first, so this right here on the left side, IB high formed first, low forms second. So IB high forms first, the first break is going to be the low. So if the high of the first hour is first and the low is second, 68% of the time, what does this look like? That's what I was showing you. The high formed first here, the low formed second, 68% of the time, you're going to break this. Boom. There it is right there. 68% of the time, high formed first. Boom. Here it is again. High formed first. There's the low forming second. 68% of the time, you're going to do this. Now let's add some more confluence in there. One of my other favorite reports from the first hour. This could keep going, KB, by the way. This could really keep going. Opening candle continuation. I talked about the first hour of the market. Where do we open the market? Right here. Right here. Where do we close that first up? Right here. 8:10. We opened up 8:35. That's a red first hour. What does red first hour mean? It means 75% of the time we're going to have a red day. This is what makes a red day. So we could go down here. Boom. Look at this. Drill it. Drill it. So I wait for that first hour of data because that was absolutely gorgeous. Two just layup type of trades today. Absolute layups. What do I say now? It's two just absolute layups. Just we just like look what that setup was right there. I feel like it was literally like we stole the ball and KB was just on a fast break by himself. I just hit him in the chest. KB just one dribble, looked back, looked at the crowd, and just dunked it. That was what that was right there. That is, I mean, as simple as a morning setup trade goes. Obviously, I trade several different things. I use a lot of different confluence, but nothing easier than a 85% gap fill. You could have just stayed short all morning from this, but I like to manage my risk. 85% gap fill, and then you have two. You have a statistic that tells you 75% of the time you're going to come down here and close under this when we were trading right here. So we know we have that direction. We also know this right here, high form first, low form second. 68% of the time we're going to break the low, and look at that, boom, just straight through the low. Does that play out every single day? No. 68% of the time means 68% of the time. If I can take a trade 10 times and 7 times it works out, I like that. And if I can couple that together with another trade that says, hey, if I take this 10 times, it's going to work 7. So double up on your statistic there, right? To me, that's even a higher. You have 2 high probability things. Boom. And if you really stayed short from the gap fill, boom. The other thing that we're going to look at is previous day high and lows. The RTH sessions right here. Let's take a look. Look at SPY and QQQ. QQQ, previous day's low, broken. What does that tell us for the rest of the day? Here's another strong statistic for you. Previous day's range. All right, previous day's range, QQQ. Sorry, I was answering a quick little message there. 74% chance we have a red day now because of previous day's range too. This right here, previous day's range, which this means we should close red. So if I want to long anywhere today, I'm not longing past here. Actually, right here, sorry. This right here, because this is where we closed yesterday. This is where that gap filled. So this yellow line right here, this is where the gap filled. This is where we closed yesterday. Yesterday's close right here. We should close 74% of the time. We're going to close below this now because we've taken out previous day's low. So if anything, we pop back up here. I want to short it again. If I get long somewhere, I only want to long back at most to probably this area. On NQ, where's that? Same thing. So on NQ, if you're trading NQ, anything long back towards 800, I'm taking profit or I'm flipping back short. So if we do something like this, that's the trade I did. Boy, we lose 730. We should see 690 down. We should see down here if we lose this right here. ID by retracement. This one's an interesting one, Alexandra. I'm so sorry, Alexandra. So by retracement, there's a 60% chance you do come back up and touch this, right? Let's take a look at that. I want to see what that stat actually is. Here, and I can just quickly click it on right over here. Go to report, QQQ. Break down by retracement, 63% of the time, we're going to come back at least to that 25% level. And then I'm going to throw some caveats at you on this one, Alexandra. 67% on NQ. So what does that tell me? This level right here, which is right at 800 of the initial balance. This is my high of the first hour. This is my low of the first hour. Here's the midpoint. The indicator's marking the midpoint. This is 75% and 25%. So 67% of the time you do come back to here. But I have like 3 data points telling me this, right? So I have previous day's low broken. That's biased down. I have the IB broken down here. So I mean, honestly, the easiest trade, this back test right here is probably what you short if you get it. But that's a long way up. If you get long somewhere, that's like your ultimate target, in my opinion. Because beyond that, it's only a 40% chance now that you get to the middle. So there's a less than a coin flip chance that you get back to here today. And then we also know we should close under this level because we broke previous day's low. Always remember to use QQQ and NDX, as much as you do on, as much as you use NQ. If you use ES a lot, make sure you're looking at SPX and SPY. SPY previous day's low is right here. If this breaks, we can expect the same thing. Close below this area. I still got 45 minutes here with you guys, and I don't even know how much I'm going to do. Straight out of the textbook. Look at them crushing this. Where's some of these big names at? All right. Well, watch if we just pop up here and reject immediately on QQQ previous day's low. The other thing, just from a pure, just market structure type of thing, EMA 9 is my blue line right here. When you get this extended from the EMA 9, you usually go sideways until it catches up, or you come back and find it and then get hit. Previous day's low right there, boom. QQQ broke previous day's low, just bounced up and rejected it. Choppy, this is fantastic. Okay, now what do we do? Yeah, that's an interesting spot to try to play long on. $779 is the pivot point and the EMA 9. KB, what are you doing over there? Did you walk away? Yeah, like today, you get two big trades, or KB hit probably like four. You hit two nice trades to start the day. Like, don't just go touch grass. Like I like this nude. Go roll in the grass. Go outside and just roll in the grass. I don't think the selling's done personally, but your risk reward entering short here is a little bit rough. I really do not like longs. You broke the previous day's low. So like look at NDX here. This was yesterday's session right here. And right here. And then just look. So we broke it on this candle right here. We pushed back up, and then look where yesterday's support is that going to turn into resistance? Could be anywhere in this area. If you look at NDX, anywhere in that area. If you look at NQ, this area right there. I'm just gonna hang out and watch for a little bit. There's some liquidity down below us here. Ooh, Nvidia new low. See what some of our big players are doing. Costco new low. Apple just gonna pop. Tesla new low. Google does not care. Neither does Meta. There it is, right there. All right, so now do you reshort here, or do you reshort 800? Or do you just walk away with your profit? That's what I always struggle with. I wish I would have got that second short right here on the screen. I didn't have time by the time I was like getting in the position and putting my take profit. It was like already. I was really hoping right in here it was gonna pop back up and I could get like 830 and just get that full move, but I had to chase it down here. KB beat me to it just a little bit. I just got like 20 points right here on this candle right here. So there's your IB back test. And then remember that spot I was talking about with Alexandra right there? That would be the other spot. KB's out here playing search and destroy. Yeah, Bob, this is where all the cool kids hang out. You should know that by now. TV right here. Are we doing it? 800? It reclaims here, then you stay out of trouble. Oh, I really think you could take a short right here, though. So the idea, you short right here, 800. First trim is 780. First trim's here. Your second trim's probably here. That'd be the trade idea right there. Vladimir, that's what's so tough. Like the market just shakes off the bad data so fast because they're like they have more hope in the market going up than they do in anything else. So plus, like so many people got caught so offside in April. They've been chasing it. There's not been a significant dip the entire last 4 months for them anybody to get in. But look, the exact spot we talked about rejecting 800 right here and yesterday's close right there. You take it back to the IB low or right there. And if that doesn't hold, you ride it down here somewhere. So DK, the 0.5 level. So we looked at this earlier. So this was right here. This is the IB by retracement. What this tells you is when you break down, so we broke down, right? Broke down. 67% of the time you make it back to the 25%, but the 50% of the IB is only a 40% chance to get there. So there's only a 40% chance that you even make it up here. And then, like I said, other data tells me because we broke this previous day's low, we should close under this right here. So anytime we're up here around this area, up here, I want to short this because we should close under this level today. Previous day's low, 75% chance that we close under this level. Plus, there's that 25% level right there as well. Seems like a layup short right here against 800. Oh, what is that? Oh, it was just the hourly close. I thought it was a headline. I was looking everywhere. Like, wait a second. Willie D, I thought so too. It was just the hourly close there. All right, there's your layup, 20 points. Let's see if it crushes. You're really gonna give us 3 layups like this? Really not. Surely they make this one more difficult, right? All right, there's 35 points. There's a layup short. Now you can go break even and see if the runners take you back to the lows. Oh, boom! You need another trim spot. You take it at probably, what, 753? Boom. And if you want, put your stop and profit down here. Boy, they're just gonna make the day so easy for us. Like, no way. Surely this trade comes back, at least stops out the rest. So 40% chance for it to go back to the midpoint means that more times than not, you never get there. So you see what I'm saying, DK? More times than not, you never even come back to here. So if I really want to take a short somewhere, I know that more times than not, we're not even going to make it here. All right, just heard my last trim go off at 45 points, and we'll just hold runner, see if we get any low. Well, boom! Yeah, 1 p.m. Eastern for that Apple event. 10 Pacific, 11 Mountain, noon Central. Now you definitely probably put your stop down here. So, like yesterday, let's take a look. Are you talking about in or yes? So, like yesterday, you went up here, you had this was a breakout. So, that data, there's actually just a 30% chance. So, like coming to here was just a 30% chance, and this is even lower. This was a double break day. So, yesterday, we broke both sides, right? Breaking both sides of the IB itself is like a 20% probability. I mean, look, that's a small probability. And then standard, boom. It does count like wicks as a breakout, but look, breaking both sides of the first hour is just 23% chance. Yesterday, you broke both sides. This was just a 23% chance that this was even going to happen, right? So that's why, like, if you did short any of this, like, these should have been your major targets. Now, the other thing you did have was a big gap and run, right? So, like, if you have some context of, like, we closed the day down here, and we opened the next day up, we were up like 200 points from here without ever even coming back down, then yeah, maybe, and this is the resistance area, obviously. I mean, so you put some context together with it, but the probabilities are what they are, right? It's not paying attention to price action and other confluence or anything like that. But in this case, we didn't even like really. I mean, we broke out as far as like by definition, we broke. This is a breakout of the IB, but it didn't really like break out like by what most traders think of a breakout. Like to me, it's just it broke it, but it was like just a break. It wasn't really like a full-on breakout. Now today is a little bit different, right? Today we broke hard on this, like right here's your level. We broke hard and then came back in. So this is a little bit different price action than yesterday, when yesterday we just like, I mean, look at this. We got above it, came back into it, got above it, came back into it, got above it, came back into it, and then we started breaking down. So we were like obviously failing to get any higher. So like there's a little bit of confluence with it, but the statistic is the statistic. So getting back to here yesterday was only 30% chance. But you also had like, look at this, right at the open, we just ripped up. Like how many points is this? Ripped up 100 points in 15, 20, 30 minutes, I guess. Yeah, 30 minutes. We get a little bit of a higher low here. But remember, statistically, just statistically, right? Statistically, we should not be up here. So if we do come up here somewhere, I would short this. So we make our way even on NQ. NQ makes its way back up here again. I will short it back to 800. All right, that's where we're at. What's up, Bitcoin? Thanks for stopping by. 15 minutes or so left here. Honestly, not a whole lot that I want to do. I can sit in this little runner right here. By the close, that's correct, Robert. So it's by the close, right? So in QES, whatever you're looking at, QQQ, wherever we close, so you can look actually, like right now, we're red by 50 cents, 60 cents on QQQ. We're red by 22 points on NQ. We should not close above here. Now, that, like if we come up here, like, yeah, that's fine and dandy, that can happen. But the statistic itself, like you have to break it down by what is the report telling you? The report is telling me that at the end of the day today, whenever we get, where is it? Right here. Right here is where we should end. Now, we could do all kinds of stuff like this. We could do stuff like this. Either way, that last candle should be here or lower. Anywhere. I mean, it can be anywhere down here. It can close right at here. If it closes at 799 on NQ, it's still with the statistic. So it's just a general guide of what to do, right? And then that first hour, we shouldn't close above here either because that first hour was red. So like the opening candle continuation measures the first hour of the market. So here, how can I notate that? There's your first hour of the market. We should close below here. Because this first hour was red, this is where we opened. The top of this box right here is where we open the day. That other statistic says we should close below. So I have a statistic that says we should close below here, and I have one that says we should close below here. What do you think I would do if we came up here? Yeah, I would play this. I mean, and it's not like it's just like an arbitrary like thought or something like that. Like this is using 6 months of data. We can go back even further, but right here, 75% of the time, it's a red day. So red candle opening. So look at this. Red opening candle. There's been 57 of them, 43 of those. So if you took the trade 57 times, in essence, 43 of those trades are going to work out for you. Red day after red open, right here, 75% of the time. So that is one statistic. That is the one that I said wherever you open. So right here is where we opened. The other one that I was talking about, previous day's range. Previous day's range is a little bit different. Let me go to QQQ for that. And you can just go straight to the reports if you want. It's just quicker for me to get to them from the what's in play because I have them all over there. Previous day's range, right there, boom. Previous day's low. QQQ, when you break the previous day's low, 74% of the time, you have a red day, which is from close to close. So that's the important thing right there. So in QQQ, for example, yesterday, where did we close? We closed right here. This is where we closed. So today's close, 74% of the time is going to be underneath this close. How many times has it happened? This is 6 months of data. Once again, 53 times we've broken the previous day low in QQQ. 39 of those, which is 74%, 39 of those we've closed underneath. Just for the fun, year to date, what does year to date look like? This goes all the way back to January. 71%. Look at that. 76 times it's happened, 54 times it closed red. We go back for 1 year, we can look. 72% over the last year. So from this day last year till today, 109 times. When you break the previous day's low on QQQ, 109, 78 of those times you still closed red. Okay. So that is you can look at it from a million perspectives. I like 6 months. To me, that's just where I found my sweet spot. You noticed right there wasn't a huge difference between 6 months. Year to date is right at 9 months, right? Because January through September or into September, basically 9 months, and then a full year's worth of data, they were all 71 to 74%. And you can see a lot of this is updated here too. Look at this bearish, bearish, bearish. Like, let's look at our screener. You see how many bearish things around here? Come on, look, there we go. I have that one on futures. Let me go to my. So it's not as bad when you look at the overall. A lot of bearish data. What were the statistics? I'm typing them out here. Still in the trade here. All right, a few more minutes left on the stream. Staying short. I don't know that we get new lows, but oh man. Now, do we get choppy the rest of the day and just hang out here? It's possible too. I don't care. But I got my now 3 layup trade wins 3 wins in a row, all layup. To me, they were. I mean, those are just straightforward. What's so strong? Banks and energy. Yeah, I mean that's probably the move, right? This area right here, SPX, right there. Right. So here's an interesting point. Dow, the Dow Jones, which UNH is very heavy. Obviously, the Dow is cap weighted, so it's a little different, but you broke to the upside and you broke previous day's high. So the Dow is actually bullish today. We're going along anything. All right. Yep. Willie, so why do you think I'm doing nothing here? Gosh, UNH. Wow. Still going. Yep. We're about to get that. We just got that London close. Usually a little pivot in the market. And that's the end of my time this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Tuesday and Thursday, right here every time. Let me drop 1 second. Some of you guys were asking about you haven't tried Edgeful yet. If you check out with my link here, you get 7 days free. any little bit helps, right? Don't just do it for 7 days. It's going to take you a month or so to get used to it and learn it. But I just dropped it in the YouTube chat, so on both YouTube should pop up in the chat right there with a link. And you check out using that link, you'll get 7 days free. And boom, that's it. That's the end of my time. KB absolutely crushed it. Willie C, Vladimir, Robert, Bobby. Appreciate all you guys stopping by. DK, Bitcoin, Cliff. Who else was in here a little bit earlier? Serenity was in here asking some good questions. Eva stopped by and said hello to us. Izzy, saw you in here this morning. Somebody else was in here like early, like right at the beginning. Who else was that? Somebody else came in here, but appreciate all you guys stopping by the stream every Tuesday and Thursday. Hopefully I can help as much as possible. If you haven't tried Edgeful, give it a shot. And I'll see you guys on Thursday morning. All right, everyone, I'm out.